Man, this is something I'm glad somebody brought up in the comments section of that recent upload about season 8, consequences, no accountability. And that's the fact that, Andi is about to get everything she's, worked for, wanted, however you want to put it. But if you go back to the video I did about, if Jordan killed Gary, I discussed how, man, Andy's going to make it to the top of the mountain, but when she looks down, she'll notice all the people she's had to, walk all over, destroy their lives. Essentially, everyone who fell in her wake for her to make it to the top. And I put Jordan down there too because I said, look at what Hudson said earlier in the season. Andrea Barnes. It's kind of funny how every time you get involved with a man, you end up leaving with not a scratch on you. But, you turn their livelihoods into shit. And I feel like that's the same thing what happened with Jordan. I mean, look, this man is far worse off than when he got involved with Andi. I mean, his heart has been ripped out. His professional career shot to hell, just in general, because he was on the cusp of a city council, but then after the whole attempted murder investigation, that's a wrap. And you know what's even worse? We don't even know if he was the one who actually stabbed Gary, but given the fact that he's going to be caught in the act of strangling him, well, we don't know if he's killing Gary. We don't know if he will successfully kill Gary, but we do know he's going to be behind bars in the next episode, meaning that A, he killed Gary, B, someone walked in the midst of him strangling Gary and he gets arrested for it. Basically cementing the fact that this man's professional reputation, his political career and aspirations, his life in general has been ruined. And there's no going back. There's no coming back from this. And to think Jordan was one of the, let's be real. Jordan was one of the primary reasons why Andi made partner. Why am I saying this? Because actually a couple of people in the comments of that recent video pointed out something that slipped my mind. Well, actually, I think I talked about it months ago, but in terms of recent times, it slipped my mind. Marie is only a part of Andi's career because of Jordan. And that's what makes Andi such a perplexing character this season, because when you look at how she's treated Robin and his decision being personal, not business, I think about season 7 when she pretty much wanted to cut all ties to Jordan. Because keep in mind, I've been saying this time and time and time again. What Robin said in episode 19. Andrea Barnes is on, track to be managing partner. But given the situation about the attempted murder investigation and whatnot, and the stain that leaves on the firm, she had to be suspended. She thinks it's a personal attack on her, when in actuality, it's business. Business, not personal. So basically, Robin was seemingly, look, like I said, him becoming managing partner only became a thing in episode 19 for whatever reason. But the thing is, it wouldn't surprise me if Andi would have been brought back into the firm once this whole investigation was, put under lock and key. That's my thoughts on it. Now you could argue, well, Jeremy, what about when Penelope unintentionally took the fall and the case was closed? Shouldn't have Andi been brought back then? Well, that is a good point, but you have to think of it this way. She had just slapped Robin in the face and called him a son of a bitch. Then she went to the hospital, and then that's when her and Hayden both got the alert from the news that Penelope got arrested. And then, of course, that's when she went to Robin's hotel to ask for his help, and then was told, take accountability, and she said, F you. So even if Robin was going to lift the suspension, he had zero reason to do it at that moment because of her behavior. But more to the point, I wanted to compare the situation with Robin and Andi in season 8 with Andi refusing to take accountability, but more to the point of how is it she feels some kind of way when she's pushed out for personal reasons because her personal life has been impacting the business that she works at. But when you go to season 7, she did the exact same thing to Jordan. Remember when Gary, brewed up that fake story about Jordan? What was it? Some white girl that came forward and made allegations about Jordan being inappropriate with her while she was underage or something like that. And then that ended up turning his life upside down in less than 24 hours. And I believe Andi went into work. I think her and Jordan had sex or something. And she just came into work smiling. And next thing you know, everybody's giving her looks and everything. And it's like, wait, what's going on? And then Fatima showed her the report. This woman avoided Jordan like the plague. She avoided this man like the plague. Ignoring texts, phone calls, smoke signals. The only way he was able to communicate with her was to stake out in the parking garage and catch her when she was walking out of the office. And what did she do? Chewed this man out. I can't believe what you did. Do you know how embarrassing it is? I'm in the office, people are giving me stares, and this could ruin my chances of becoming partner. Andi, I didn't do this. And then she, like I said, she just left. I think he even called on the phone. Yeah, because the girls were at the penthouse, but they ended up leaving because she was on the Andi took the phone call and went into the kitchen, and then the girls just opted to leave. And he was pleading with her to believe me. Like, I didn't do this, Andi. This is fake. I think we need some space, Jordan. Literally. She literally, quote unquote, suspended Jordan from the relationship. I'm not lying. Go back to season 7. That's exactly what she did. And then in the midst of their quote unquote separation, that's when Marie Willis came into the picture. Now, I can't remember the exact timeline of events. I don't know if Marie was a stunt that Jordan pulled in order to get on Andi's good side again, or if this was something he had put into motion prior to the allegations coming out. And then Marie came and basically said that, I sat down with Jordan for lunch or breakfast this morning, and I could just look in his eyes. That boy isn't lying. He's telling the truth. And I believe she had like a private investigator look into the situation and determine that it was a fake story. And you want to know what Andi did after that? She went over to Jordan's place after ignoring this man for days, dismissing him, jumped on him, kissing him. Well, thank you so much for recommending Marie Willis to my services at the law firm. And I also did some checking, and it turns out, yeah, you were right. That story isn't true, so everything's good. And Jordan rightfully is like, yeah, that isn't going to fly. Why not? Because you didn't believe me when I told you there wasn't anything that happened in the past. My word should hold more weight than that. Basically, you only believe the truth after you did some research on your own to confirm it. You just left me out to dry. And look, before we move any forward, Andi, before we move any distance further, Andi, you need to know that I'm in the political realm, meaning that stories like this will probably pop up all the time. If not allegations from females, probably some mudslingers about, I don't know, taking money under the table or anything like this. So if you are going to abandon me when things look tough, then this isn't going to work. And then I believe she said something. Well, I'm sorry. Yeah, it's just that the last guy I was involved with, Gary, there were so many secrets and whatnot. So it's hard for me to, trust what's true and whatnot. But no, do you see where I'm getting at now? Andi was upset at Jordan because of these allegations and how that made her look and how it would impact her chances of making partner, or basically mess up her chances of advancing her career. So she wanted to cut ties with Jordan as quickly as possible. Because remember, even though it was off screen, it was stated that during that 3-month period, or, the time skip, while Jordan was running for city council, Andi was constantly seen on his arm, on stage at different rallies and events, things like that. So her name was tethered to his. And due to the allegations, that put a negative spotlight on her. So what did she do? Decide to cut ties with him until it was confirmed that all was good. Your name isn't smeared. Your name and my proximity to you doesn't mess up my own reputation. Now, when you look at the law firm situation, Andi's name being, attached to Gary, and then the murder attempt, and then, her being a key suspect, that was a negative light on the law firm, because if her name was on the side of the building, Benson, Jones, and Barnes, they would have easily took that name off hours after she got suspended. So for Andi to basically tell Jordan not to take it personal when she suspended him from the relationship, why did she take it personal when Robin suspended her from the firm? And the worst part is, Jordan was the reason why Marie even looked in Andi's direction to begin with. He gave Marie the highest recommendation for Andrea Barnes. That was him. So for her to say how, oh yeah, I wanted to, but I never really loved you like that, or I never could love you like that because of my past with Gary, to screwing up his life, Andrea Barnes is a piece of shit. She really is. And I've always felt this way ever since season 1. Well, I didn't have the anger and, just the malice towards her in season 1 that I do now, but this has always been the case. I mean, heck, it's crazy, looking at different articles and video essays and, the 2020s about shows from the 90s or early 2000s where they talk about how, hey, remember that show you used to watch back in the day? But it turns out the main character isn't, the good protagonist you thought they were. Like, I mean, there are plenty of characters I think about who aren't as great as you would think they were when you first watched the show. Like Corey Matthews from Boy Meets World. He's awful. Terrible friend. I love the Wonder Years, too. What was his name? Kevin. He was a jerk to his friends. I mean, there are plenty of black shows that fall into this category as well, where it's like the main character you're supposed to root for isn't as good as, they portrayed themselves to be. But yeah, I just feel like Andi, when you get to the top of the mountain and look down at all the people you stepped on, all the good men you mistreated in favor of, a man who, what did she say? I like men who try to control me. Basically, all the good men you let down or ruin their lives because you wanted to stay attached to Gary. When you get to that top and you're all alone, you got to ask yourself, was it worth it? Was it worth it? Now, this man's behind bars. And I'm not blaming Andi for Jordan ending up in jail. Even though it was far more violent, similar to Danny with the coffee, it was his decision that led him to this situation. But it's crazy. It really is. This man went out on a limb for you, put you in a position where you could easily get that partner, job by Marie Willis, and well, that's all I got. Andi's trash. Like and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next video.